name's Ilona Tate, and I'm a Tai Chi instructor, Qigong instructor in Newcastle upon Tyne in England. We're on lockdown at the moment, so I'm making a few videos to help my students and anyone else who's interested. Today we're going to be looking at the positioning of the back in Tai Chi, hugely important thing to get right very early on in our practice. And we're going to be looking at two ways that the people hold their spines in normal life, which need to be amended, corrected, in order for Qigong practice and Tai Chi practice to be effective. So if you want to join in and have a feel of what this might feel like in your body, feel free. We'll start with our feet slightly pointing out, so they're not quite parallel here, they're slightly at an angle, slightly more comfortable if you're new to this. And we're going to just push our knees back and feel what that feels like in the hips and the lower back. Now you'll feel that the hips are tilted backwards. There's more of a curve in the lower back. Now that's exactly what we want to straighten out. At the moment it feels like a slope. The chi is not going down into the legs. It's kind of moving away from the hip area. So what we're going to do is to immediately change that feeling is just soften the knees, bend them slightly, and we call it sitting down. Just relax the weight into the ground. The weight is dropping evenly through both the feet. The knees are sufficiently bent for you to feel it, but they're certainly not going as far as the toes or over the toes. They're in line with the toes, so there's no collapsing in like this. And have the feeling that there's something like a beach ball between the knees that's going to keep them in position, stop them collapsing in. And once we have the legs in position, just feel the hips. If your knees are bent, you should feel the lower back a little bit straighter. Now we're going to look at two positions that are very, two ways of holding oneself that are very common. The first one, if you go to a Tai Chi class and you look around at people, you'll find that quite a number of people have a natural back, laid back posture like this, particularly in men, but not always. Now, this is not great for Tai Chi or Qigong because the Qi doesn't descend through the vertical meridians very easily. So the way we correct this is we put your hands on your bum and just push that back, and immediately you can see that has straightened the spine quite considerably. Okay, now the second type of back we're going to look at, it relates more to women, and it's the one where you kind of stick the bottom out and there's quite a curve, a concavity in the spine here. So the bottom kind of sticks out and there's concave here. Now how do we deal with that? So knees, bottom is back, and now we're going to imagine that there's a spherical, say a balloon, inside the body. So this is the back part of that sphere, this is the front part here. Now just push back a little bit and let the back lengthen here, particularly if you're a woman, and really let that open. Now there's a point here called the Ming Men, which is translated in English as the gate of life. It's just back from the navel, perhaps a little bit lower in some people, the gate of life. Hugely important that the gate of life is open when we do Tai Chi and Qigong in most kind of basic stances that we utilise. So feel, once you've got your knees into position, the bottom's pushed back, feel a lengthening and opening here. Now if this causes your chest to collapse, that's another issue. We don't want to close the chest. You want to feel in your posture, you can kind of get a little bit of a lift from the sternum, just to let the sternum lift a little bit, and you feel the heart and lung energy can circulate freely. There's no closing down, but there's no pulling back of the shoulders either. It's very relaxed, shoulders are down. Okay. It's worth pointing out, if you do have a tendency to lean back and you do look in a mirror and correct your posture, now when you're looking in the mirror, feel what that feels like in your body. The likelihood is it will feel like you're tipping forwards. So when I correct people in classes, and they're leaning back, and I come like this, come back with the hips. I always say, do you feel like you're leaning forward? They'll always say yes. So you'll have to feel like you're leaning forward for a while until your body gets used to it, neutralises that feeling, and then you'll be in the correct posture. So, you know, keep checking your back if you do have a tendency to lean back. And keep checking if you're a woman and you've got quite a concavity, this is nice and open. Okay, let's come to our position. Knees, bottom back, open. Now you'll notice the tailbone. Some people teach tuck your tailbone, okay? That's a little bit simplistic, because if you do lean back and you tuck your tailbone, it's not working, is it? So it only works in some cases. So I feel my tailbone is nicely down, but it's relaxed. I'm not doing anything forcibly with it. It's tucked, yes, because of the other things that we've done. Okay, so here we are in the position. Now the back of the neck lengthens, the chin is slightly tucked, very, very subtly, and the back of the neck is now lengthening. Crown of the head suspended as if from a string, going straight up into the top of the sky. So once you're in the posture, just relax. Now if you feel any tension in your back at all, notice where that place is, where the contraction is, and release, particularly soften the hips. And we're ready to start to do whatever movement, the arm movement, we like to do. Okay, so I hope you found that useful, and I'll follow this up with a few more videos in due course. Thank you for watching.